the playstyle they've been using so far.
Yeah, it feels like at some point they're going to be able to just kind of push all their ultimates together and come out with a team fight win.
Survivability. And you can see LGD recognizing that. They're going to head straight on down towards this one. And with GLFS up towards the top side of the map right now, there's going to be no response.
First bit of vision control and make sure that they're going to be prepared to pull the trigger if they show up towards this dragon. Xiaoya just has to be careful in the mid lane.
Oh, this could be very, very worrying right here. Force Indian stuck underneath this tower and 3 members on the way in. So far misses.
All right, there's going to be a whiff onto the solar flare, but there's Hong with unstoppable force, finds the knockup and gets the first kill. Ready to help out with the rest of them, with the mid laner still dead. Coming back to the lane now is Sinian, but will probably be too late to contest onto this dragon unless another fight breaks out before then.
Oh, it looks like it might well. Both the top laners do have teleports, not currently looking to use them. Oh, no.
YCX just steps up, thinks Eclipse makes him invincible. GLFS flashes in, manages to steal the dragon. Supreme display of talent now to lock down Hong as he and Tang Yuan trying to kite their way out of here, but a double knockup found by Wu Nai, and down goes Hong as Sinian gets revenge for the earlier first blood. It's a 2-for-0 fight for AL, and they snag the dragon.
After a very slow early game, AL, they explode onto the map right there, but it's all off the back of just some pounds with the bad decision-making from YCX, as we jump back in, and Sinian's just going to be dead again right here. One more auto-attack should do it, is going to be picked up right there by Tang Yuan.
A little bit of restraint in where they position themselves, but could be another fight bringing out here before too long. Avoids the seismic shove from Sinian to be able to stay safe, and now Hong waiting, gonna ambush Sinian in this tri-brush, has Tang Yuan right at his back, and Sinian basically just gonna get one shot here. Flash still on.
Doesn't result in any objective. We've not got another one of those for a little while. Rift Herald going to be the next thing to spawn, and AL do have the majority of members there, but as you can see on your screen right now, Tang Yuan going to be able to pick up this bot lane tower. And it just keeps getting worse. That's going to be the feat of warfare, feat of everything, going over to LGD. And they're now in a very strong spot during the early stages of this game.
And RNG's last mid laner himself, the big recipient from this whole early game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Huge gold lead, 3 KP, gets the first turret gold solo, and now his team brawling for the Rift Herald. He's going to be TPing in to try to join up on this fight. Wu Nai leading the frontline charge with the Unbreakable Will. Double knockup found by Hong.
Nice.
There's the bullet time opened up from Xiaoya, but YCX going to be falling down on the opposite side either way. Tang Yuan brings the damage and has already melted down too, falling lower and lower, gets into the stasis to avoid Nova's execution, and Sinian
with his ulti coming off of cooldown right now, there's no way that you can turn this one back around and carry on. Instead, it's just going to be a quick rotation down to the mid lane to stop this tower from being taken. You could potentially go for a play right here. Wu Nai has a bit of a flank.
Yeah, going in here, going to be able to knock YCX back in, flashes over the seismic shove.
Oh,
Supreme
no.
display talent comes and goes, and nobody really gets swept up in it. Tang Yuan continues to cash out with another kill in his pocket. 100% KP on this Victor at 17 minutes 30 seconds, and turrets soon to drop as Hong pilots the Herald directly into another outer turret.
And they should be able to go for another one right here. You've still got that ulti available to you if you want it. No, just going to be stopped right there. Nice use of the wall and the seismic shove to just bob everybody back, saving the tier 2 tower for AL. But still, LGD, they're going to walk away with the grand prize, and they can turn straight back into another dragon.
Should be able to secure this one. Maybe could use a little bit of additional firepower to do it quickly, but
it does mean that you delay yourself getting towards as much damage as you really want. Your Lichbane, your Rabadons potentially, that could have been second items, are going to be a little bit delayed, but in pro play that is often the case, and it isn't really dampening anything too much. 10 stacks on that.
Next to Dragon, still 3 minutes away, so a little bit of breathing room to be able to collect themselves and potentially put a gank together, but Hong and Tang Yuan are not slowing down. They are looking to maintain control over the jungle, and GLFS cut off from the rest of the team. Flash forward from Hong. Supreme display of talent attempts to create some space, but Hong's in there with the unstoppable force to pick up another one against his opposing jungler. Wu Nai forced to pop Unbreakable Will as well, and LGD, they're just going to march towards the Otacon.
Yeah, that Arcane Storm just going to deal more than enough damage to dissuade any potential step up here from AL. And this has been the big problem throughout this game. The rotations have just been coming through too slowly for AL. GLFS, he needs to get out of dodge much, much quicker. Even on a pretty slippery champion in the Kiana, just was nowhere near enough to get away from just being walked at right there by a Malphite. And now you've split your focus, going to be able to take down the
in an even-numbered team fight at this stage of gold differential, as Tang Yuan is taking down your inner turrets and continuing to cash out for massive amounts of gold.
Oh, the Hung's dead. Yep, there you go. That's going to be that nice combo between the Malphite and the Misfortune. And whilst we're watching this happen, whilst you're watching the Hung, the player we were just talking about having to carry you to the Promised Lands, get evaporated in front of you, everybody's trying to dive a Scion top lane. I don't know why AL have decided to try that twice now, because it hasn't worked a single time. And even if it does work, even if you get that kill onto Sasa and you get that top lane tier 1 tower, you still lose your ADC mid lane and some more towers bot lane as well. You're just not making up the gold deficit here.
Yeah, you're not. And you know, you've got Tang Yuan over on the other side of the map, pushing aggressively, invading your jungle, firing lasers at GLFS as he attempts to do wraiths. There's big opportunities on the opposite side of the map, but Sasa's on vision though. We've got to go attack him again. Here's a little 3-man play on towards the Scion.
Has been happening. Soul point has now been achieved by LGD. 4 minutes 30 seconds until the next one will be up and available. 40 seconds though until the Baron might be up, and Unova, is he going to be potentially caught right here? Might just be able to get away. Rek'Sai, a very slippery champion, is just about going to be able to avoid that smash. But still, the tower could be under big threat.
Slipped out of there. Unai coming in on the flank. YCX going to find him. He's a little bit outnumbered as he gets shuffled back into the rocks, but takes about half his HP and damage. Sasa happy to take the front line, though. Unova is nearly one shot. Can't even get the ultimate off in time, and Sasa still tanking up the full force of AL on the opposite side. Big unstoppable force from Hong. Locks him down for an AoE wombo combo from Xiaoya and Tang Yuan. LGD sweep that fight, no problem.
And that's the bullet time of dreams right there for Xiaoya. Just going to be able to rip through the opponents just as the Baron is spawning as well. Once again, they're going to win a team fight and be able to turn straight back around and grab the next objective. Things just have not gone right for AL in this.
And the introduction of Malphite jungle to the meta, I think, has been very good for the pick as well, right? It's so nice to just be able to pop ultimate, get in there, and tell everybody else, hey, safe to press R now. We're going to get something done on this, I promise you. We'll guarantee a couple of waves of bullets connect as Xiaoya just kind of soloing out this bot lane inhibitor, and nobody can step up because YCX is there to throw down some CC as necessary. Here comes Tang Yuan and Hong doing much the same in mid lane. Second inhibitor about to fall, and here comes a wave led by Sasa from the top side. LGD just completely tearing AL's base asunder, and AL desperately trying to mount some kind of defense. What can they do to try to push back against this LGD team? Supreme display of talent completely whiffs, but the wombo combo from LGD does not. Both carries fall in an instant, and LGD will close out game number 1 with ease.
This is going to be a 27-minute game right here for LGD. Heavy, we're getting into your backline and blowing you up, comp.
Yeah, they see a Lilia locked in, and they are fully committed now. We are the dive in this composition, and the Kai'Sa will cement 1 versus 1 with Xiaoya, who chases him down with a killer instinct, and nobody able to get in there with the minion wave fully cleared out to finish the job. But here comes minion wave number 2, and Unova is out of tricks to pull out of his pocket, trying to pull away from the turret, trying to dive back in onto Xiaoya, but finally finished off by Hong. Are going to be worked on by LGD. Hong going to claim the first, but Unai and the Hong are coming down to try to challenge for it, and it looks like AL might not give up these ones without a fight. Full engage on a Unai. Cyclone used, and they're just going to try to melt down the Rel. Unai flashes away on single-digit HP. Is Sinian going to take a fate sealed in onto Tang Yuan, trying to finish off his lane opponent. Tang Yuan falls. YCX is forced to flash over.
Only be down by 13 CS. That's not bad at all. You would want to be way further ahead as the Lilia. 25, 30 CS ahead.
Tang Yuan is deep behind enemy lines, looking for a play onto the Hong. There's going to be a flash over the wall. Tang Yuan locks him down, and Xiaoya picks...
to get themselves even closer towards Soul Point and towards having control over this game.
LGD forced to take their licks there, but why is now Sasa under pressure from multiple angles? I don't think he gets out of this, Bloxer.
Nope, he's just going to be tagged by that bowling ball as well. Should be one final hit, of course. We've seen some ridiculous things come out from Casantes, but not going to happen in this second. But you're going to be getting to that second item much quicker as Xiaoya, especially as he steps up right here, should be able to take down this tower, is going to be able to with one last auto attack. And there you charge of it, but just makes it that little bit harder to play around this Rift Herald. You've also bought time now for the bot lane to push.
Ooh, Nye pulling the trigger there with a big Magnet Storm, but it's only really onto Sasa, who does use All Out to try to create a little bit of space, but is going to get put to sleep and taken out here before too long.
No.
YCX sleeping over on the other side, going to jump in with the quickness, but he will melt down as well. Quick 2-0 to AL.
And it is going to be picked up by AL, so they have themselves the feats. They're going to grab a tower too and just put themselves even further ahead. The response, though, LGD should be able to grab themselves this Drake. There's no push here from AL. They don't care about this one. They can afford to give up one. Instead, they're going to look for the mid lane tier 1.
Yeah, just deciding off the back of these fight wins, they're going to sacrifice the dragon stacking speed for a little bit of additional gold. They get themselves the topside tower, and now forcing a response here. This is going to be a TP used by Sasa to jump over and try to defend this turret, but he may be at risk of being dove. There's 4 members of AL here and nobody from LGD in position to back him up. How can Sasa try to play this out? Goes for the all-out over the wall, pulls Sinian away, is going to try to immune the fate. Flashes away, gets out of the big blast cone, and Sasa's out of there. But that turret is going to be done for before too long. TP now being channeled by Yanova to come and try to defend in the mid lane, and will be able to keep it safe.
It will be a top lane tier 2 tower traded for a bottom lane tier 1 and potentially the tier 2 realm what going to be used aggressively once again to bring the minion wave on forwards. And I gotta be honest, I've been loving watching Tangyuan play this Ryze. One of my least favorite things about Ryze is when it's inactive and you never use the Realm Warp for something fun. Well, he's been using it for a lot of fun right now. Still, they are going to lose themselves their mid lane tier 1 tower. And this has just been structured. They'll be able to get themselves back away. And we see another fight around one of the buffs. This one looking like it's going to go LGD's way.
Again!
What?
Onto the Hong. Finds the one shot there. This guy is on a mission to assassinate Aphelios, and he makes it happen.
This is so nice to see. We keep talking about proactivity, and usually with a Ryze, it's about the Realm Warp, but it hasn't just been the Realm Warp creativity during this game. He's been flashing over walls, he's been finding flank angles. Tangyuan is having one of the best series that we've seen from him in a while right now, and that assassination is going to result in the Atacant going on over. We were talking proactivity, and, well, there you go.
Yeah, well done there by Tangyuan. And I mean, it worked the first time, try it again, and it pays off massively. Great combo there between the Kaisa and the Ryze, and gives it such a big break to LGD as they pick up the Otacon from it. Huge XP lead for the rest of the squad, and Tangyuan well ahead of the pace of the game, having completed that Roa as well. He is on an XP mile.
He is on a tear right now at this point in the game, and it just makes it so scary.
He hit an overload there. He knows somebody's lurking in the bushes, and we'll take on anybody we can find. Yanova trying to flash away, but Killer Instinct from Xiaoya will put him right back into melee range. Hong cleans up another kill for LGD, but the Dragon left exposed with everybody topside.
TP coming in from Tangyuan. They're still looking to play this one. I mean, it is going to take a while for the full rotation to come on through. They do have 3 members in the area now. LGD, do they just go for this?
Mission here. He is deep behind enemy lines. No flash, no ultimate, no way of getting over. But there's the Hong, and he sees an opportunity to get in there. Big quickness from YCX, but immediately going to get bursted down by the AL forces. A flash forward from GLFS has to go into the stasis. They managed to melt down the Hong in time. Fate Sealed connects across multiple members. Tangyuan goes into the stasis, and Sasa in the all-out form with the extra damage from Xiaoya will just work their way through each and every member of AL. 4 hit the dirt, and it's an unofficial ace.
YCX goes in, and it's just a little bit too early. Doesn't come through. Now, the Baron going to be started up. Teleport coming in as well from Sasa, so you have the full 5 members. AL, they're going to be walking into this one late, and we've seen that's not worked pretty well for teams previously.
Yeah, good job by Sasa to create some space, prevent a big engage angle from Wunai. Throwing out the swirl seeds here is GLFS, looking for a big sleep angle to be able to set up a team fight for his squad. But Hong's been able to retreat away, and YCX gets over the wall as well. Public execution snags onto Sasa, and he is left out to dry as Tang Yuan takes out the Realm Warp. Now Xiaoya cut off from the rest of the squad. They're going to get over here and try to respond to him, but GLFS has him pinned. Going to cast the Lilting Lullaby immediately. It's cleansed away. Wunai is going to get engaged onto. Quickness across all three members. YCX holds him still, and Tang Yuan has the damage to finish off Wunai as Hong comes in on the flank now, exits onto GLFS and is looking to be able to finish him off with the second cast of the Cyclone. Hong with the solo kill. Tang Yuan has Yenova all over him, but he's able to pump out more damage than the AL squad can handle. Xiaoya wins a 1v1 of his own as LGD take fights across the board, and they win every single one.
Advantage, you're up by 3 kills. Tang Yuan on the way as well. And this could well be another kill. I think by yourself, definitely not, but Tang Yuan, he is pumping the damage.
Yeah, now just make sure you don't get solo killed Xiaoya, and he will accomplish that. Unfortunately, there are 2 more members of LGD en route to Yenova to try to finish him off. Now the question is, what can AL do in the cross map? Because this is taking too long.
Yeah, it's taking forever, and they're going to get a push going through the mid lane.
TPing in to do much of the same. Not going to have access to the quickness from YCX. Going to make engaging a little bit tough. It's going to be mostly on Sasa here as he manages to force his way into the river to try to create some space for the rest of the team.
Oh, no.
There is a lockdown onto GLFS, and they almost one-shot the Lilia. Cyclone going to finish the job as Sasa claims the kill credit, and quickness is back on up. YCX throws himself in, gets onto 2. In comes a big Moonlight Vigil from the Hong, who has to flash back away, but Xiaoya's all over him. Going to be able to finish him out of the back line. An attempted reset from Sinian will be finished off through the Fate Sealed, and Yenova, the last one standing, will be hunted down by the remaining members of LGD, who win the...
He's doing damage and taking none again. He's full health.
Oh, it's another lockdown found by Tang Yuan there onto GLFS. Here's the quickness, popped on through. YCX just going to take anybody he can find into that charm, but he'll be finished off, and the rest of his team were not in position to help him. Sasa forced out as well. I mean, Hong and Xiaoya are just not even here for this fight, and LGD maybe getting a little big for their britches, trying to take a 3 versus 5. But now the Dragon's on the menu. This is going to be Soul. They don't want to give it for free, but YCX is already dead. Hong into the back line, gets the Cyclone onto 2, knocked up by the rest of the squad. They managed to finish off the Hong, but the return damage is significant. Sinian going to be able to keep the knockups coming on to Tang Yuan, but it is going to be Hong jumping through the rest of the fight on the Trinity Force Wukong, pumping out the damage with the staff, bonking every member of AL on the head. Locked down now, though, by Wunai, but Hong fights through it all. Xiaoya comes over to join up his jungler, but he's not even needed. Hong is dominating this fight.
Hong just rips the members of AL apart, and Xiaoya gives him that little sprinkling of extra damage needed to take that team fight over. Yes, it's going to be the soul grab for AL, but LGD, they should be able to walk this one down and end this game.
Hong with a massive team fight there. LGD getting a little discombobulated, getting a little uncoordinated as they don't get the fight that they desire, and they do end up losing the Dragon Soul, but a massive flank from Hong onto the back line takes the Hong right out of the map, and there he goes again. One shot by the LGD crew as they look to take us to match point in what was a closer game number 2, but is an LGD win all the same. Tang Yuan, you're having a hell of a night already. Show me the Silas on R5. Love to see it selected up against the Nico in particular. Pop Blossom, a hell of an ability. Sasa's going to keep this here all day long and suffer no consequences for it as his team is just getting the dragon anyway.
Yeah, still going to be the Drake going on over. A little bit delayed, couple of minutes behind the pace at which you would have otherwise wanted to grab that first objective. The response is going to be a little bit of damage onto this tower bottom lane. Don't even know if that full tower plate is going to be taken because the rotation can come on down now. Particularly worried about Yenova right now at all. It'll be interesting to see what these two top laners can bring to the team fights once we get there. For right now, things calm back down once again. 2.5 minutes until the next Drake is going to join us on the board. And first items very, very close to being completed now. Oh,
nice
Tango, is he
charm
dead?
landed by
He's dead.
Sinian, flashes away from the abduct. And
Drake is going to spawn in onto the map. Reset coming through from Sinian. He should have himself a couple more components on the reset. Maybe some boots for that extra mobility.
Yeah, that is a Wunai clone. Or no, it's not.
That's going to be them still picking up the Drake nice and easily. No real response coming through from AL, and that's going to be the second Drake for LGD right here. They're the ones doing the stacking in this third game.
Yeah, so Sasa finds grander individual gold lead, and Xiaoya and YCX in charge of holding down the mid lane going to have no problems doing so as they immediately back away, recognizing where the AL squad is coming from. In fact, there haven't been real individual plays other than the invades that you can point to as major victories. They have just eked themselves out piece by piece advantages and find themselves now with a gold lead on Hong in particular, but really kind of across the board except for mid lane. Rift Herald looking for a charge, will find the tower. They should be able to claim this. Unova coming in on the flank will get the stun here onto YCX, and they finish him off in an instant. Quick kill picked up by AL, and now looking for this inner turret. They're going to pick that one up as well. Huge gold swing. Pop Blossom comes through, connects onto Hong. TP in from Sasa, looking for the multi-man stun off the counter-strike. Going to be forced back away almost immediately. Tang Yuan with the steal on the Spirit Rush. Going to be able to find and finish off Wunai. Gets himself his first reset of the fight. Jumps over the wall. Sasa coming in with the counter-strike once again. Gonna be forced to retreat. Tang Yuan on a low HP bar as well. Hong gonna get pulled back in by the Infernal Chains. Jumping forward. Tang Yuan finds one. Tang Yuan finds two. Sasa and Tang Yuan stay alive. Keep on fighting and clean house as AL loses 3. Sinian gonna be able to trade back onto Xiaoya before he retreats, but that is a numbers win for LGD.
Oh man, Tang Yuan and Sasa right there were playing out of their dang minds. That would have been an even easier fight if it wasn't for on the edge right here, living dangerously, and they're making it work.
And love that confidence from them as another fight breaking out in the opposite side jungle. Sasa going to be up in front immediately, forced to counter-strike his way out to safety, and very well might get hunted down here. Decides he's got to turn this play right back around, throws down the Grandmaster's Might, looking for a solo kill out of the Hong, but cannot find it. The Hong will claim the shutdown, and it will be a trade for a mid-outer turret.
Yeah, you now lose yourself out onto one of those key members. No teleport available for Sasa, so if you want to start up this Drake, you better be dang sure that you are going to win this one out. The Hong does head back to base on very low health, though, so he's not going to be here either. A 4v4 fight right here for the Infernal Drake.
Tang Yuan covering the ramp now, trying to stop AL from being able to get involved. Instead, going to turn his attention back over towards the Dragon. He does have the Dominus stolen away to give him a little bit of extra fight. And they're just going to try to control space, stop anybody from getting into this river by all costs.
Absolutely. If you could just body block them out, there's a lot less risk of having things stolen away. Obviously, we're getting very, very close to the end of Atakan as an objective in League of Legends. I do wonder if it's got a couple more throws left in it. We've seen plenty of teams who are very far ahead lose everything around this one. Tang Yuan taking a little chunk of damage, is going to have to jump back. And now positioning is in the favor of AL, but the resets have just come through from LGD. They've been able to go back, spend their gold, and now are in a very strong position to be able to start up a fight. Sasa pushing through the top lane, does have TP.
Sasa going to be such a threat in the side lanes here. GLFS does pull the trigger, gets in there onto Hong. Crescent Guard comes on away to try to buy a little bit of space. Here comes the flank on the side from Tang Yuan. Pops his own Pop Blossom and finds it onto 3. Going to pick up the first kill and the second of the fight as Sasa TP's in, gets onto the Hong, takes him to the ground, and 4 members of AL are gone and done for. Sinian, the last one standing once again as LGD look to claim themselves the Atakan.
It's not quite the Atakan throw that we were expecting, but it is another team baited in by the promise of a one-team fight around its pit, and it's all just going to go wrong for AL. It's a real shame. It's the classic Nico situation when you've got a Sylas in the game. Yeah, you do a bit of damage, but the Sylas takes your ulti and does way more with it. Tang Yuan, he's been the overall series MVP for me. He's been incredible.
Don't do it, Tang Yuan.
Goodbye, Sinian.
Oh, he's doing it. Oh, he misses out!
Never mind!
Crushes him!
It's been so impressive for me throughout this series.
Yeah, I mean, Sasa kind of been relegated to weak side for a lot of this series, but now he gets to play the Jax, and he's having a hell of a time at it. Another fight breaking out here. I mean, Hong trying to fight his way through it. Here comes Sasa arriving to the scene right in the middle of everybody as in go the rest of LGD, but Sasa just getting melted down. Tang Yuan finally going to get in there and finish off one kill, but Sinian hunted him down on the opposite side. Tang Yuan turns the fight back around, dodges out on the charm, and wins out on the fight with the help of YCX. Meanwhile, Xiaoya was was found and killed by GLFS in what is going to go down in the books as a fight win for AL, unless Tang Yuan and YCX can find a little bit more. And Tang Yuan is not done! Oh! Dives in on a GLFS, finishes him off. A root connects over the wall to Unova, and Tang Yuan cleans house and turns the fight back.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, feast your eyes for the rest here.
That was gorgeous, and you're watching in the picture-in-picture right now. That is going to be the sole picked up right here for LGD as well. They are well
on tournament so far. I would say playing second, maybe even third fiddle to Hong and YCX.
Yeah.
But this series, Tang Yuan has been the face of this LGD squad.
Absolutely he has. I mean, he has just been popping off on this game. The Rise performance was awesome, flashing over walls, getting picks and kills, but this is some of the flashiest styles play I've seen in a while. Going forwards once again, trying to get a kill onto Unova.
Yeah, Unova trying his best, but will be melted on down. Tried to frontline for and engage from the rest of his team, but they just get pushed back by the force of Hong and Sasa, and so they will not get too much for it. Sasa loses a good chunk of his HP to a well-placed charm from the likes of Sinian, but will just fall back to the rest of his squad, who are taking inner turrets.
Yeah, I mean, with the Baron buff coming on through right here, it is real rough out there for the AO members. Sinian just gonna have to pop the ulti to try to get back away. When I gonna try go in, manages to just land onto Hong, though.
Yeah, Unai landed the Pop Blossom, didn't land the follow-up Tangle Barbs. It just gets turned right back around on by Tang Yuan. Double kill for Tang Yuan. In towards the opposite mid. A triple kill for Tang Yuan. The Hong now assassinating Xiaoya on the opposite side, but guess who it is? Quadra kill for Tang Yuan.
Oh, can he go get that Penta? Unova is back up and available. I don't think the Renekton is going to give this one over. Can have to settle for just the Quadra and the series win right here. I mean, maybe. It's been a while.
Up there. Sasa gets the counter-strike. Tang Yuan is tanking turret shots, though. Sasa tanking up this other one now, but I think our timer's expired. Unai's already back alive, and that's pretty much done for the fight. Tang Yuan, no pentakill for you this time, brother. Even if you fish for the unofficial one, he's going to have to back away eventually. Unova actually going to give himself up here. Stolen Pop Blossom goes in with it, and we'll give it to him. Unofficial pentakill to Tang Yuan.
Let's go. I mean, yeah. Well deserved in this game. 13-2-6. LGD not going to be able to quite.
You don't have to show Hong like that. Give him a break. He's done well this series.
Yeah, it's. You don't have to keep showing up the little moments and cool. It seems like this will be the.
You know what? I'm not going to ask for anything anymore. Actually, this is.
Hey, there's still some suspense, right? Is it a pentakill potentially for Tang Yuan? When is the trigger going to be pulled right here? Tang Yuan currently got that Spirit Rush up and available. When does he decide to go?
Guys, we're not even playing the ad. All right, Hog is looking for a potential invade here, or engage rather. Tang Yuan throwing out some chains on the opposite side. They are working on this last and final inhibitor. And here comes Hong over on the opposite side, just trying to collapse all these waves as simultaneously as they can, Bloxer. And Unai finally going to pull the trigger, goes in there with the Pop Blossom, lands it onto Sasa. But here comes the rest of LGD from the top side. Hong going to throw himself in there, gets a big Crescent Guard onto 4. Tang Yuan advances forward. The Hong falls, as does the rest of his squad. Jungler and Topple join him. And game number 3 plus the full...